It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe and the beautiful Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday to you.
Happy Hump Day. You know, I can always tell it's Happy Hump Day because you know what I hear?
What?
That's perfect timing.
That means Dawn DeMarco the book is in the house.
Dawn DeMarco the book.
Dawn DeMarco book.
She says the book. It's really funny the book is in the house because I thought that we were going to have some interesting spectators in here today.
We do later.
And we do?
I think.
And those guys all have nicknames, like the book, the fish, the Guadalupe.
That'll be later. We got Dawn the book in for Faith Stories. It's a Wednesday, and while we're talking about the book, we have a new promotion. Actually, it's an existing promotion with Frank A. Ruffolo.
You going to run that?
As long as Josh runs it, we're good to go.
Josh, we going to run that?
Yep.
I think so there, big boy. Why don't you run that?
Ready. We're proud to announce a book basket giveaway with all of Frank A. Ruffolo's books. A renowned author with many stories, including Tres Archangelis,
Jack Stenhouse Murder Mysteries,
and sci-fi explorations like Xantha Terror.
Don't wait. Buy now.
To win the book basket, purchase any book right here at the studio of Frank A. Ruffolo or purchase it online at frankaruffolo.com.
Call him 866-224-5422.
Good luck. Good luck. And there is the gift basket. Oh, it's not in camera. Can you,
I gotta
want to show it?
You know, I'm going to tell you, will somebody freaking win this stupid thing already? Because I'm going to tell you, this thing weighs a freaking million pounds.
December 20th. Purchase any one of Frank's books and get entered to win a raffle to win his entire collection.
This is like 50 pounds of books.
Join the fun. Come into the studio, purchase a book, or go to frankaruffolo.com or Amazon. If you're going to buy it online, just shoot us a text or a message saying, I bought a book, and we can enter your name in to win this amazing raffle on December 20th.
And Shorty will take it to your car.
So a lot of good stuff happening for you. Wow, what a morning, I got to tell you before we get into, wow, you're busy over there.
What?
So I want you to know they've decided that next week we're doing a white elephant exchange.
I'm not involved.
Okay, you're not going to be part of it then.
I don't agree with any of that stuff you guys are doing.
You are kind of, I shouldn't say that because we've got a young lady in the house. And she does not like Scrooginess. She believes in Santa and giving and all of those things. So we're going to pretend you're nice.
Windshields. I don't squeegee people.
You're not Scroogey?
Squeegee.
Because, you know, she may go, I don't know, Santa likes everybody.
Everybody. Did you tell the book about our adventure yesterday?
No.
The book, did you hear about our adventure?
Don't ever follow me as an Uber driver is all I can tell you. Don't hire me. Don't follow me. Not Uber, not Lyft, not nothing.
So
I don't know how I got lost in my own neighborhood.
Dawn doesn't understand that a straight line is the fastest way to go from point A to point B. So she gave us a tour of Boca. A 10-minute ride turned into 35 minutes.
That wasn't the bad part.
Well, we're getting there. That's just the warm-up. Yeah. Then she comes into pitching the game, and we get separated, and she sends me down a one-way do not enter.
Where is Zari when I need her? Yeah.
For two blocks. And I had 5 cars with me.
Truth.
All I needed was to have a cop come and pinch us all and forget about it.
Oh my gosh.
There would have been enough bail for everybody.
Well, I'm hoping Maria Stefani comes in today and we can talk a little bit about that.
That was hilarious.
More to come anyway. Hanukkah starts tomorrow night, by the way. I'm just looking at our menorah and the
what
first
am I
night of
supposed to do
Hanukkah.
when Hanukkah happens?
We light the first candle. You actually light 2. You light the middle candle, and then we light one candle.
I thought the middle one was last.
No,
No,
the
that's
middle
the one
one-
to light the other lights, right,
Right.
Dawn?
Yes,
Was that
correct.
the one that you use that one to light the others? Now, I gotta tell you, I got some bad news for you. That white candle is not gonna last 8 days.
No, it lasts one, and then you replace it.
Oh, is that the way it works? I thought it was like the recurring oil that didn't.
They actually make menorahs where you can put oil in, and you can continue to light the oil. This is
We need to get that.
by Max. I'm
Who
not quite
puts the
sure.
oil on the OPEC?
You're funny. You're on a roll.
I'm in a row.
And there you go. First title. I guess they've got games. Freddie at age 10. So we should ask the ladies.
Wait a minute,
actually.
before we ask the ladies anything, you wanna tell people about this?
We've got a lot of new products actually. We've got our first line of tea called Tranquilla Tea. It is lavender and chamomile, and it comes with a beautiful, lovely diffuser.
I feel like that lady
you
with
can
the
put your own teaspoon
Vanna White.
of tea in
Vanna
there.
Black. I'm Vanna Black.
Infuse it and have a lovely, relaxing cup of tea.
This is so cool. You take a scoopful of this, you put it in that little thing, and it makes the tea, and you don't have any spills. And you don't have anything in your mouth. Because
That's the key, is you don't have all the stuff in your mouth, all the leaves.
and
How's
do you
it
know?
smell?
I don't know. I didn't open it. And do you know the back?
The back says Tranquilla Tea.
And it says pure tea from
Pure tea
Greece.
from Greece.
This is from Greece. Matter of fact, what's the famous philosopher from Greece? What's his name?
Socrates.
Yeah, I think his fingernails in here.
I don't know what you guys gave him this morning, but that is our new line of tea. We've got our own line of coffee and cookie dough. And by the way, your cookie dough is still in the freezer.
Yes, I think we should. I think we should give. I think we should try it today to see if it's solidified.
It might be solid.
I think it's solid.
Well,
They
you have to
opened the
put it out
freezer
to melt.
yesterday and they found the cookie dough.
Josh the cook. No, not Josh. Shorty the cook.
It's a short order cook.
cook.
Isn't that like a short order cook?
Badamping.
But being
Wow.
pretty good.
There
I'm
you
on
go.
point today. See that? You never
Look
know what's
at
going to
that.
happen.
Look at this. That's nice.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
dear.
Literally solid can.
That's cookie dough from the North Pole.
That's definitely TikTok worthy, maybe.
I don't know what that is. It smells good though.
How could you go wrong with chocolate chips?
Oh, you can't.
You can never go wrong with chocolate chips, is all I'm saying.
It'll be good eventually.
So question on the table is, I guess they're going to find out next Wednesday. We're doing our gift exchange, and we're going to bring you food.
Oh, nice. I'll be here.
Dawn's
The
coming
food
as
is
well.
my idea, Dawn.
He only wanted
okay.
food.
I only wanted food.
I'm going to ask Willow. Willow, for Christmas, would you rather have
That's
food
not
or presents
fair.
from Santa? When she comes up, she'll let me know.
But that's not fair. She's gonna say presents. Okay, why don't you tell them what the gig is?
They want to do a white elephant exchange. I'm not really quite sure
Do you
how
know
that
how
works.
that is done? You do. Can you want to explain to us what a white elephant is all about?
Yeah, it's a gift exchange, but the
Talk it to your mic.
It's a gift exchange, but the gift you bring has to be something really fun and different and interesting. And, you know, it could be something everyone wants because you spend triple what they told you to spend, or it could be something that nobody wants and they get stuck with it. So it's kind of a who knows what you'll get
But
thing.
people take the toy if it's a good one. They take it away from you. They're allowed to
Yes,
take it.
That's right. You
Okay,
can steal.
I don't agree with that. How would you like to take something away from Willow? Really? I mean, what is wrong with you,
But, like, but
Bridget?
she's
that
not
would
going to
be
be
mean.
here.
I'm here. Me and her the
How
same
old are
age.
you? I know.
I'm whatever age she is. Can you imagine they give me something I really like it, and somebody comes along? I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna get violent in here.
Yeah, but you can take it back too. Isn't it that you go around the room?
You can take it back, but all the stealing is very stressful. It is not the kind of party game I ever want to play. High
Thank
stress.
you.
The whole
Thank
time you
you.
want it back. You don't want anyone to take it. You start thinking, I'll hide it. You give it a dirty look, even though you love it.
Stressful game.
You guys are crazy. I wanted just to bring in some food, some drink, a little music. We go
We can do
Christmas
all that.
caroling. These guys wanna. I feel like I'm back in the Bronx, so I gotta hide my things under the bed because they come and steal them. I'm done with that life.
I'm going to get you the boyfriend pillow.
Now that you can steal. Oh, you seen the boyfriend pillow?
No.
It's a half a body. It has an arm, and it's made so that you can go to sleep and put it
The
around.
best
you.
white elephant gift ideas. Look at that. We have to put a price on it.
Yeah, because nobody wants that junk.
Survival seed vault.
Nobody wants that junk. That's easy if
A
we do it
Batman
that
costume,
way.
a taco holder. What is that on the bottom fanny pack? A belly button fanny pack. That's hilarious.
That's what I
Do you
want to get
see
you.
that?
I'm going to get you that with your name on it. and
That's
glitter.
hilarious.
Let's see who steals that bad boy. But you see, you're gonna end up getting junk.
I'd be the only one that would, if it's glitter.
Of course, I would put
Dawn.
Future the book. Because I know you would take. I don't know. I mean, if that's what we're doing, those kind of gifts, fine.
Then you're all in.
$1.99. I got no problem.
I was going to say, then you're going to ask me to go buy another gift.
Ugly sweater type of deal. That has
Actually, we
three-
have Santa
three
coming.
arms.
I think Santa and Mrs. Claus might be here for a special appearance
I
on
heard,
Friday, I
heard.
understand.
And you got 25 kids coming
which
in.
is pretty cool. We've got 25 children coming in from one of our local elementary schools to kick off our season with some Christmas carols. And I think we've got a special appearance coming in. I guess Santa's taking the day
Wait
off
a
from
minute.
the
It's
North
not
Pole.
local. They're from Miami.
That's local.
Miami's local. This is
I
what
know
I
North
have to
Miami.
deal with. We walk every day to the local school, to Miami. It's not local. It's South Florida school.
South Florida
It's
school.
down there. It's over an hour and a half. Those poor kids, they come up on a bus.
And they all need to go to the bathroom. You put 25 little kids in one bathroom, at one
Yeah.
at a time. It takes a
Joy.
little bit of time.
I told Dawn,
Joy.
let's get a porta potty
And I told you
with a
to.
bucket.
Oh,
No.
no.
All right, we got to do something with him. We're going to take a commercial break. We are not. We need a disclaimer on Friday today.
I'm getting ready for when Josh steals my gift. I already know that Josh is going to steal my gift. It doesn't matter if they give me one sock.
No, Casey is.
Casey? She won't be here. She's working.
No, she's coming to
She's
steal your
at
gift.
Pasta Village or whatever.
We're going to
her
take a
place
quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk faith stories with Dawn DeMarco book. She's got Marina in the house. I know we're not talking about a book, but at some point we're going to have to talk a little bit about it. And then I have Stacy will be on next week. So more to come. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Don't miss out on December 20th this holiday season.
We are proud to announce a book basket giveaway with all of Frank A. Ruffolo's books. A renowned author with many stories, including Tres Archangelis,
Jack Stenhouse Murder Mysteries.
and sci-fi explorations like Xantha Terror.
Don't wait. Buy now.
To win the book basket, purchase any book right here at the studio of Frank A. Ruffolo or purchase it online at frankaruffolo.com.
Call him 866-224-5422.
Good luck.
This holiday season, let the spirit of the Brooklyn Cafe brighten up your mornings with our exclusive cafe merch collection, with our stylish tees to rep your favorite show. Elevate your morning routine with our signature cafe mugs, a sleek, lightweight laptop sleeve to protect your valuable device, a 17-ounce stainless steel bottle with your favorite show logo on it, and your favorite, hold on, let me overthink this phone case, for all Apple and Samsung phones. Cheers to the holiday season. Order now at brooklyncafe.tv/shop. Happy holidays!
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
AMP2 Media Productions, in collaboration with True Oldies Radio and Comcast TV, bring you the opportunity to spotlight your business on Monday Night Football on ESPN. By targeting your preferred Comcast region, your commercial will be spotlighted during NFL and NCAA football season, reaching over 1 million viewers. Let AMP help you amplify your impact in the community. Contact us at 866-224-5422 to create your own commercial today.
The National Pickleball Expo is back, the biggest pickleball event in the world. Get huge discounts on the latest equipment, apparel, footwear, holiday gifts, and more. Visit nationalpickleballexpo.com, December 9th and 10th at the Palm Beach Convention Center.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5444. 5301.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Hi, and thank you so much for joining my segment of Faith Stories. I first want to thank Dawn and Freddie for allowing me to do this on their program. My hope is that, my prayer is that you will get to know people who have walked through very difficult times, or they've shared how they came to know the Lord. And that's what my prayer is that you will find your Heavenly Father through these segments. So I'm so excited about my next guest. I have to put my glasses on because I can't see. And we've known each other for about 7 months, and she's an amazing woman. Her name is Dr. Marina Hoffman. She's a professor at Palm Beach Atlantic University. She's also an author of the award-winning book, Women in the Bible, Small Group Bible Study. And her free video series on women in the Bible is available at womeninthebible.info. She has a powerful testimony of tragedy and triumph, and she's a homeschool of a 5-year-old Willow who's absolutely adorable. And so Marina illuminates the leadership, strength, character, and courage of women in the Bible to bring an inspirational message of hope and encouragement to all of us who must navigate today's challenging and uncertain times. Marina, thank you so much for being here today. And I have heard your stories on several different occasions, and it blows me away that you and your husband are walking miracles. So would you share what happened to you about 10 years ago?
Yes, my life was going pretty good, and then I just finished university. I got a PhD. It was a lot of work, and really I hadn't done anything but endless schooling, and here I could finally live life. And we're coming down a month after I finished, and suddenly we're hit head on, going 70 miles each on the highway. Our car was crushed, and in that moment we should have died. And I'm so amazed to this day that multiple events occurred that saved our life in about 5 different ways.
Wow.
Anyone who knows the impact of 140 miles an hour know that it's very rare to survive, but we did. And after 3 or 4 days, my body was saved, and I was thankful, except I knew, Dawn, that something was really wrong. And I couldn't really think, and I couldn't really speak and communicate. And it turns out that in addition to my physical injuries, I had a minor brain injury, which was very severe. A minor brain injury,
Which is
it's serious. I couldn't talk. I couldn't say a word of any language. I couldn't communicate anything. And here I was with my PhD wanting to be a university professor, and I can't even speak my own language of English. I couldn't say yes or no.
That is absolutely crazy, because you had to relearn everything again, and you just finished school. And that alone is so powerful in and of itself. So how did you navigate through all of that?
Well, it was a challenge because it wasn't just this physical limitation, but I had depression and anxiety. And by the time they tested me, maybe a month or 2 later, I had severe PTSD, which lasted for at least 5 years. So it wasn't just that I had to overcome my limitations and learn how to function, but I had to muster up the willpower to do so, because it's hard to go through the journey of recovery when you're also so depressed you don't want to get off the couch or get out of bed in the morning.
Well, and so how did they figure out? When you were in the hospital, were they able to identify the brain injury? And as a result of that, how did you proceed to relearn everything?
Well, I took a lot of testing, hours and hours of
Really?
psychological
Okay.
testing from the lawyer, my lawyer, from the insurance company.
Oh, yeah.
And I think looking back on it, they knew I had a problem when I blew up with them in anger because they were asking me to repeat 3 numbers in a row.
And you couldn't
And
do it.
how I'm not a superhuman. How could I possibly do that? And now I look back and think, wow, I was like very emotional. I was acting like a 2-year-old. And to think now that I truly could not remember and repeat to a person 3 numbers, I mean,
That's
it shows like kind of the severity, but
Oh my
really it
God.
was just the functioning in life. It was remembering to brush my teeth,
Right.
combing my hair at least once a day, just the very basics of life. And then from there, the other issues of realizing, do I have any kind of future like this?
Right.
Will I ever be able to contribute to society again? And I'll jump forward as I got better and I wanted to have a child, thinking, do I have any right to bring a child into the world when I can't even get my grocery list figured out?
That's so crazy. And so your husband was also in that accident, and I know he shared with me like his whole side is mesh.
Yes, he got crushed on his left side. And I'll say a little moment that's incredible.
Yeah.
So as the car is coming toward me, I just think I'm dead. That's
I
it.
bet.
That's
I
the
bet.
end of my story, the end of my memories. My husband is remembering every step of this accident. And if you ask him how it went, he will give you a 5-minute story of every nut and bolt that came off. And so he feels that the brakes have disengaged and he has no control over the wheel. And in that split second between where he had control and where it broke, he just launched his body over top of me to save me from the impact. That's one of the, I think you could say, a miracle that happened.
Well,
If
I would
the-
say absolutely
Yes.
is a miracle that happened.
I had lacerations in my bowels, which meant I was turning septic with the bile. If those airbags had hit me, as they should have, I would have been instantly dead. So that's one reason no one knew I was alive. But here he got it all. So his left side is crushed. His body is dark purple for months. I have no bruising because he's protected me. But really, Dawn, in throwing his life on top of my body to save me, he saved himself. If you can picture it, his body is way to the left, and
Right.
our engine is sitting in the driver's seat, and
Unbelievable.
it catches the left side. So he has 8 broken ribs and a broken hip and a crushed ankle, and yet he saved my life and his own. His knees were fine. Again, he threw himself over. And my last little comment, his first injury, I believe, is a rib that he himself broke on his right side from the console,
console,
by
sure.
the thrust of throwing his body over to save me. And they didn't even discover that for like 2 months because this little fracture on his
Oh
right
my
was the
God.
least of his worries. But I do feel that my husband cracked a rib for me. It's kind of special. It was in Canada. And that was part of it. It was in the middle of winter. It was good weather, but the shoulder was covered in ice. So we had nowhere to go in those 1 second for me, 5 minutes for him. He reasoned that his best decision was to take the full impact instead of getting nicked and then spinning out and killing someone else. He thought, everything considered, my wife and everyone else, I will make sure it hits me dead on. I'll die and hopefully won't spin out of control and everyone else will live. And another little detail, he was afraid I would be really ugly with all the glass that would hit me and I would have a hard time remarrying. So for that reason, he also, while throwing his body on me, put his hand on my face and pushed me back into it. And I can't know this, Dawn, but I had a minor brain injury. I was a step away from a vegetable. And I think, in my heart, it makes sense to say that if his hand hadn't been pushing me back into the headrest, I might have had worse whiplash and I might have been a vegetable or simply died from my brain injury.
So all of this went through your husband's head.
That's crazy in that
At
short
that instant,
window.
when you're thinking, I'm done, and he's got all of this planned already out in his head on how you're going to remarry and what you're going to look like.
Exactly.
That's crazy, right?
What does he do for a living?
He is a publisher.
I was going to say, is he like an analyst or something?
He publishes books, and a doctor told us once there's about 1-3% of the population that's under distress. They don't fight or flight, but they have a hormone release that gives them that movie Limitless, where things are in slow motion. So we have met 1 or 2 other people that said, oh yeah, it happened to me too. But it's like it's like he lived through that movie Limitless where everything slowed down and he could dodge this and that.
I feel like you guys are a movie. So I'm sorry, Dawn.
No.
How did you get through the recovery? Like, I want to know the next chapter.
That was my next question. We share
Yeah.
the same brain.
It was definitely day by day, and for several months, it was minute by minute. The first goal of the day was to get out of bed and to bring myself to get dressed and to wash my face. And that sounds so elementary, but I think all of us have had those days where we just didn't even want to face the trouble before us. So first of all, having the willpower to move forward. And then there were many instances that I think God helped me to have the will to recover. And one was that a few months after it, I was sitting on the couch so depressed because I really wanted some chocolate and I couldn't, of course, go to the grocery store. And then realized, it occurred to me, I could go to the grocery store. I was able to get into the car, drive 2 minutes down the road, buy myself chocolate and come back. And the worst thing happened. The second I thought that I could, I'm like, oh no. I know my personality. This means I've got to do it. So I did. It was the first time I drove by myself. And for the context, my husband had moved us into a community of 700 people. It was the winter. 85% of them were snowbirds. There was no one on the road. It was a dirt road. There was like not even a stop sign. Okay, this was the easiest task. I went like 10 miles an hour. I made it there. I don't remember if I got my chocolate or not, but I remember coming back and I was so terrified and shaking and hyperventilating. I couldn't let go of the steering wheel for a moment. I was so upset. But that was the best moment and a part of my recovery because I thought it was so hard, but I did it. And it's a little bit like a kid in a pool. Jumping in is terrifying when you're 3 years old, 2 years old. But if you do it once, you do it again, it becomes a little bit fun. What happens? 20 minutes later, do it again, catch me. And so I think that's a little bit like our experience in life. Sometimes we have to jump into the deep end. It's terrifying. Right. But the more we do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, and I think what happens is you took that step of faith. Even though you had all that PTSD, all that stuff going through your brain. And I commend you for doing that, Marina, because my husband was in an accident in January and he suffers from PTSD. And I think people don't realize the impact that PTSD has on you when you are in an accident and that you are able to get in a car and drive 40 minutes down the road because she drove from Jupiter to be here. And that to me is such an encouragement for people who have walked through and are walking through that situation right now because there's accidents all the time. And through your faith and your husband, it's so incredible how God has walked you through this whole journey. And that like I said, I've known Marina for about 7 months now. And when I met her, she's such an amazing woman. I walked in, I told her, she goes, "Hi, I'm Marina Hoffman." I said, "Hi, I'm Dawn DeMarco Book." And then she's like, "Your name sounds familiar to me." Now, someone with a brain injury, seriously, how does she remember that? And it ended up, she was having a gala for her not-for-profit Partners for Family Values, and I was going. And so it was just like we bonded, and then we had lunch, and she's so incredible. I'm just blown away by who you are and how far you've come in less than 10 years.
Well, I think that when we look at the struggles in our life, we realize that the growth we have, the character we develop, and who we are today is most often through the hard times and our struggles and the challenges and the limitations we faced. So in the story you're saying, Dawn, I have come through my suffering to know that part of my survival and my joy is in relationships. And I have my faith, but we can't live just God and me. That is not a life. No. That's not living to the fullest. Right. So we need people, we need human connections. And out of my struggle and my isolation, self-isolation after the accident, I realized I need people, and that drives me to be friendly. I'm not actually as outgoing as I act on.
Really?
And I'm not necessarily wanted to say hi to you. I didn't know what I was getting into. But you know what? If we can rebuild our connection with humanity, we find there's one level of pleasure in meeting someone we love and connect with and share a bond with. But there is hidden and a deep down pleasure in meeting someone who might bore us and who we don't connect with, but you know what? They're human.
Yeah.
And if we keep listening, we find the bits of their journey and their story that we do connect with.
Yeah.
And, I study women in the Bible, and people often say, well, how does it relate to today? But that's the beauty of humanity.
Yeah.
Even things that happened to people thousands of years ago, and we have their stories, we still connect at the fundamental element that we've all had relationship issues. We've all been afraid. We've all felt lack of confidence. We've
Right.
all needed someone to build us up and help us through hard times.
Yeah. And so you brought up women in the Bible. Can you talk about your book and how the women actually in the Bible can relate to what you're walking through right now?
Is your PhD in biblical studies?
It is.
Okay.
So I did a lot of scholarship on women in the Bible, and I knew their story so well, and I could teach a class. But after this accident, I self-isolated, and I don't think that's always bad. Sometimes, especially in grieving, in severe illness, sometimes we need to find the peace and rest at home by ourselves, maybe with a very few
100%.
loved ones.
Yeah.
But I wanted to come out of that, and here I was living in Florida, just moved here, and I didn't have any friends. And so I went to my default, Dawn, which was women in the Bible, my comfort zone. And I thought, well, let me read these stories again and forget about the commentaries and the Hebrew language. Let me just see if there's a connection I have to their stories.
Sure.
And Dawn, I was being my normal self of kind of a bit emotional. Every story I read, I'm like, that's exactly what I'm going through. Whether it was a struggle to have
Right.
a child, whether it was, Queen Esther, right?
Esther was awesome.
Feeling called to act for her people to save a nation.
Right.
I
Right.
didn't think I connected to it, but then all of a sudden I think, yeah, that's me. Like, I'm at this crisis point. Am I going to act or am I just going to not?
Right.
You look at Mary. We're getting close to Christmas. How can
Right.
we relate to Mary, the mother of Jesus, right? She's perfect. But her call is to bring Christ into the world. And as a person of faith, I'm reminded that my call every day is to bring the same light of Christmas, the light of God, as best I can to the people in my life.
Yeah.
So very fascinating. And, I would talk to my friends about this. And they're like, can I buy your book? I said, I don't have a book. And then finally I thought, okay.
You can
Well,
publish
I'll
it.
just write a book and share my heart of how I connect to these women and how they were there with me in a very real way as I walked through my journey. And these stories from old have so much to relate to us today, again, because our human experience connects us.
Right. And they say, and it's true, it's the living word. So it can relate to whatever you're walking through, and that's the powerful word of God, right? And I find it so amazing that it just amazes me that you're sitting here, And then, so you mentioned that you had struggles to have Willow. How did that work?
You know what,
And-
Dawn? Let's hold on that. Let me take a commercial break.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. And then let's transition into the next part of
Okay.
it. Because then we got to talk
Fantastic.
more about the women in the Bible. There's so many things.
I know.
All right, more to come. Give us a call if you have any questions for Marina or write in or for Dawn. 888-994-4995, Studio A. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log onto your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new CareWatch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The CareWatch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. The CareWatch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your CareWatch right now. Operators are standing by.
Love the Brooklyn Cafe? Don't miss out on some of the latest merch we have available. Need a new shirt? The Brooklyn Cafe has you covered. We have a variety of shirts in all sizes, ranging from the classic cafe shirt to the highly coveted colorful hot dog shirt. Need something for cold weather? Why not grab one of our cafe hoodies? Or you can snuggle up with one of our soft silk touch fabric blankets. The Brooklyn Cafe has everything you need, from clothing about the show to our signature coffee blends and mugs. Get it while supplies last.
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
When a garage door breaks down or the opener stops working, you need to act fast. So if it's broken, call Broughton. Broughton Garage Door Sales can handle all of your service, repair, and installation needs. And if you need a new garage door or garage door opener, call Broughton. They have a great line of Clopay garage doors and LiftMaster openers. And their expert technicians can prevent major problems with annual garage door tune-ups. Broughton Garage Door Sales, opening doors for you since 1955. Visit broughton.com. That's BROTEN.com. Or call 954-946-5555. That's 954-946-5555.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Yes, being friends with Dawn DeMarco book could change your life in many extraordinary ways.
It's changed my life in the last 5 minutes in this place. You kidding me? This
Right?
is like, I don't. This
Hey, how
is-
you doing?
I don't know. She
I just realized all
Dawn
of talking, he hasn't said a word.
She fits right in. I'm gonna go get a bagel or something. I'll be right back.
Pretty amazing, right? Women in the Bible, and we've got Mary now as a new friend in the studio.
It's scary.
Right.
It's pretty scary.
So we got Mary in the studio through Frank Ruffolo, and Frank.
The Virgin Mary.
The Virgin Mary.
She's in the. I don't know if you saw her.
The statue.
You
Willow
walked
did.
in, Marina, but she's in there.
Willow saw her, and she was at an apparition site in Hollywood where Frank was, and he did anointings, and he would help volunteer. So everyone that came to this apparition site, there were thousands and thousands. And when Rosa, as you mentioned, a different Rosa, when the soothsayer, when she passed on, Mary they had no place for her, and she went to a warehouse, and Frank restored her and brought her here in October 13th, actually.
And there were 3 churches that wanted her, and she ended up here.
So Mary was gifted to us on October
What a gift.
13th,
Yeah.
which is the same day as In Brazil, what's it called?
Dia de la Muerta.
No.
Which one?
That's Halloween.
I don't know what you're talking
Yes, when the sun came and dancing of the sun, and all the children saw the vision of Mary, and there were thousands and thousands of people in Brazil.
about. That's a conversation you had with Frank. I'm still
I
lost
don't
with
know
that.
anything about
I
that.
don't know anything about
Look, October 13th, we're going to look it up. I can't remember
That's
the
when
name.
she came here, October 13th.
But all of these things happened on October 13th in history as well. So the coincidence of there isn't ever a coincidence that we got her on October 13th is a gift.
I think the unveiling of what the book does is taking 8 years to get it here is amazing.
You're never going to let me live that down, are you, Freddie?
because everything in its divine time, right?
Yeah. No,
So-
it's true. It's when God calls you, and when He called me last year, or so I thought, but He was preparing me for now, because we last year it was dark, but now it's even darker. You know, when Israel gets attacked, that's dark. That's very dark. But I also believe that through these segments, it will bring hope, and where people can look is not to the world, but look to our Heavenly Father. That's where we find our hope, in Him.
And during commercial break, I know we're going to talk about Willow in just a minute. I asked Marina why the women in the Bible. What about women in the Bible are so inspiring? So you want to just share what your reasoning
I
is?
find their stories inspire me because they're so often ordinary women who do extraordinary things, and they accomplish something incredible by doing something that we would say is normal. And we even talked about Mary for a moment. I mean, all she does in one sense is have a child, and billions of women have brought forth a child into the world. And yet, because she says yes to God, she's willing to have this child that will bring her great sorrow and struggle, the child of God. Through that ordinary act, something extraordinary happens. And we see this over and over again. It inspires me, Dawn, because I think many of us see ourselves as ordinary women. And we think, what can we possibly do? How do we have time to make such a difference in the world? But I was sharing after this segment, we're going out to lunch with a brand new friend. And simply going out to lunch and taking our time and sharing a meal with her will make a life-changing difference, because she's going through a very hard time and outright told me she could really use a friend right now. So how beautiful if you can meet someone on Sunday who admits they need a friend, you take them out to lunch a few days later, and their life is changed because you brought them joy and help them overcome some of the limitations they've had in simply leaving the house.
Now, have you always been like this, or are you more inspired to do since the accident?
Absolutely. Since the accident, I feel like everything I am, in many senses, is found because of my suffering. And I don't want to say that I identify as a victim forever. I'm an overcomer, and I remind myself of that all the time because I don't always feel it. But I try at the same time to never forget my sorrow. It's so easy when days are good to forget the darkness and the hardship, but I'm always aware that when I'm having a good day, there are still people around me who are depressed, suffering. They've just lost a loved one, or their child or parent is in a broken relationship, health concerns, maybe a car accident that is a financial burden. There's people all around us that are hurting, and if we can be bold enough to admit that we have problems too, so let's just talk about it and have our hurt time, and then let's have a good time and laugh and enjoy life, because apart from all the struggles we face, we're not going to live life if we're just dwelling in our depressed state. We have to have a good time. We have to have life and joy, and how sweet that in the midst of our struggles, we can still bring joy to others.
And there she is over there.
Yes, my little daughter is here today. What a gift. What a gift. I didn't think that I could have her.
Right.
But it was a miracle that I eventually got pregnant, and I was so terrified that I would be a bad mom. And then the weirdest thing happened. I mean, there's a bit of a joke maybe that pregnancy can make some women crazy. For me, I was crazy. I had a lot of problems. I was like a lot to be with. And suddenly I started to act really normal. So the hormones of pregnancy made me normal, which was very scary and alarming and totally different. I went through a life change as I became normal. And I was terrified that the minute I gave birth, I would immediately be my old self, depressed, scattered, unable to cope with life. And here I gave birth and I was fine. I'm like, okay, the next day I'm fine. By day 3, I was having a panic attack. I actually wasn't, but in my head, I'm like, I should be having a panic attack.
What's wrong
because
with me?
nothing's wrong with me. I call the doctor. I'm like, I'm not depressed yet. And he says to me, oh, that's okay. You gave birth naturally, so you have birthing hormones that will keep you happy for a while. 2 weeks later, I call him. I'm like, something's very wrong with me. I'm not depressed yet. You know,
You were
fast
waiting
forward.
for the next shoe to drop.
Yes,
Oh
I
my
was.
goodness.
And fast forward to Christmas, she's 6 months old, and I've decided at that point that I am a new person. Somehow, through the gift of Willow, I've also been healed, and I have a new normal. I can create a new path and a new identity. I don't need to go back to the state of 24/7 depressed and anxious. And that's it. She's 6 months old, and I just said, well, thank you, Lord. I'm going to say that God has worked another miracle over time, right? Oh, getting over depression wasn't instantaneous. It was a lot of
No.
time. But yet God, I believe, through Willow, helped me a lot.
And you're still happy.
Well, because I know what it's like to near die, and I'm so thankful
Right.
on every day that I have a daughter,
True.
although I do remind myself of that when she's still running around at 10:30 at night being crazy. I remind myself that she is such a gift, you know, and just like keep taking the moments that are good and appreciating them.
Yeah, yeah, and how God just like He gave that to you. He gave that gift of healing through the miracle of your daughter. I mean, how powerful is that?
Yeah, and
Right?
we can say that like children bring joy, but I think it's also a decision, Dawn, to like tap into that. You know, a child is a child. If their misbehavior makes us so frustrated all the time and we
Right.
go on about the burden of being a mom, what a perspective, right? But instead of thinking, you know what, it's true. There are some tough times. She's 5 years old and learning, but thank goodness I have her. I have this person that loves me, and we do stuff together and we have fun. And thank goodness for a best friend who is stuck with me.
Right, and she is so incredibly smart. Willow, it blows me away. But you homeschool her, so she's like way beyond any 5-year-old, I think. You know, excuse me, I have a frog.
And also, Dawn, she's had to develop a lot of skills. Like, I know we're interweaving a lot of topics, but
No, I know.
like ways to, that there's meaning and purpose in your suffering. I struggled. I could not remember 3 things to go to the grocery store. And I can tell you, she was like 2, barely able to put a sentence together, you know, and
Right.
stuff. And I'd be like, oh my goodness, Willow, wait, what are we doing? She's like, Mom, you're on the way to the grocery store. And it was incredible, but it was because she needed to step up to the plate. I'd pull into a parking lot and totally forget why I was there. I was like, Willow, what are the things? And do you know what are the things we're
Wow.
supposed to get? She would remember 5 things. And here I couldn't remember 3 numbers.
Yeah.
And you know, Dawn, she came up with this idea that I should be writing things down.
Oh, it's
and I'd be
brilliant.
like, Willow, I'm fine. We're just going out for 3 things. We got this, this, and this. She would remember. She mostly her needs. She'd be like, Mom, did you write it down? This like little one, right? So again, like, yeah, we have suffering, we have limitations,
Sure.
but allowing God to use that to just change our lives in positive ways. And I think a bit she's smart because she had to develop some pretty good skills at a young age.
I agree, and she has her mom to thank for that. Seriously. It's crazy.
What an amazing story.
I
And
know,
you're
right?
a writer, you're an editor for a profession?
Yes, my husband has a publishing company, so I have the great pleasure of reading lots of books and often people's stories.
Right. Yep. And that if it's okay that I bring up Stacy's book. So Stacy is the one that was my first guest on Faith Stories, and that was all God, how I met Marina, and then found out she was her and her husband have a publishing company, and I want you to share how quick that was published, because that was crazy, girl.
It was like a very short few months, maybe 3 months. But, you know, if you work hard, I worked day and night on
I
that
know
book.
you did.
I
I
don't
know you
usually
did.
necessarily obsess so much, but, you know, her story needed to be told. It's a beautiful cause to bring awareness to human trafficking and how it can come to a family so unexpectedly, and the signs that we can see. And she weaves what she wants to teach us through this beautiful story. So
Right.
I was very inspired by the book, and we only do books, you know, that have meaning like that. So it was a gift, and it came together. And sometimes stories that need to be told are like that.
Yeah. And I just started reading the book because Stacy gave it to
Well, I have a
myself.
copy of it here.
Right. And Dawn has a copy. And I don't know if you've started it yet, but I literally didn't want to put it down. It is crazy.
So good.
Crazy good. There's so many really interesting characters and how she's weaving it all through. And she also thanked me in her book, which I thought was a hoot.
The Fields
I was
of
really blown away by
The
that.
Fields
but-
of Gomorrah, and it's available on Amazon, I believe.
Yes, Amazon or StacyHerringbooks.com. I prefer you go directly to her.
Okay.
So yeah, but Marina, thank you so much for everything that you do. Did you want to just share a little bit about Partners for Family Values? This is what's so crazy about her. She's not only a mom, a wife, an editor for her husband's book, a professor, and she has a nonprofit that she started when everybody was in lockdown. Could you just share a little bit about that?
Yeah, we started to get together as a group of friends who openly admitted. I started it off. I said, I'm desperate. I'm isolated. Monkeypox was announced. Anyone remember that? Lord have mercy.
That was after the killer bees, right? That was after.
After all I've been through, the announcement of monkeypox and that we might have to isolate again was one of the lowest points of my life, which probably says a lot. It triggered everything. I deep breathed after I was in a panic attack. I literally said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing this alone. I called 2 friends and said, you have to commit to me right now to see me at least once a month. And I'm going to put all my attention on that or I will not live and breathe past the next few weeks. So they're amazing. Yeah, of course. They're like, you're okay. Yes, we will meet you.
Breathe.
That's not hard. Breathe. And that's it. So we decided, the 3 of us ended up being 15 people the first time. And what I discovered is that my community was filled with women who wanted to get together, who wanted friendships and meaning and a safe place to say, I'm suffering. Can we talk about it and also laugh about it and have joy back in our life?
Right.
And fast forward a year and a half, we have about 450 people in our network.
Wow.
We have lots of fellowship and community
Wow.
events to bring us together. And then we also reach out to the youth because they're also hurting. And our group has decided that that's the mission we're going to take on, to try and create a sense of community and support and acceptance for the youth. And hopefully that keeps them on a better track than if they're feeling so low about themselves that they make some poor decisions in life.
Wow, your story is amazing. There's so many questions. Is there a favorite story in your book that you have?
It changes all the time. And so
That's
right
great.
now I'm talking a lot about Mary, doing a lot of speaking, and I just love her. And I know in art we picture her so perfect. I just think more and more, the more I study her, she was also an ordinary person. You know what I mean? Imagine to meet her, you wouldn't have known. She didn't have a literal halo around her, right? And her baby cried once in a while and fought to jump out of her arms. And I just think how amazing to think of the humanity of these people who made such a big difference. And that we can make a difference too. It doesn't have to be famous and huge, just impacting the ones we love around us.
It's interesting. I was reading an article this morning that Halley's Comet is coming back around this month and hasn't been here.
Oh, really?
And since 1986, and they don't expect it again until 2069 or something.
Wow. I saw Halley's
And they
Comet.
think that this is what they
saw it.
refer to as the North Star that led the 3 wise men.
You sure it was 86?
That's what the article said. I
I
don't
saw
know.
it with my brother in Popham Avenue. He woke me up at 4 in the morning and we saw it. I was one of the few kids that went to class that day and saw it. So it's coming back. It's funny. That means I lived the whole Halley's Comet
So they're
generation.
saying, right, so here we
It's
are living
amazing.
it again, and they're thinking that that might have been the North Star that led the 3 wise men to the manger. So pretty interesting. Right here we go about through Christmas. But yes, an ordinary woman doing ordinary things.
Right. Exactly. And it's so funny that you say that because Stacy said the same thing about her book. Just 3 ordinary women who do ordinary things but listen to the Lord. And it's just wow. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, if I can make a last comment, I would say
course.
that for the women out there who are looking for friends, until you can find some more real friends in real life and be bold and pursue it, sometimes it's hard, right?
Yeah.
I hope that
Especially
you
as
will
you get older.
Yes, and I hope you will enjoy my book. And also, I have a free video series, just 7-minute videos for every chapter. It's on my website, womeninthebible.info, and I really share personally. So if you're interested in what we're talking about, I would love to be able to share those videos for you because I know it encouraged me to create them.
Right.
And I know it will encourage so many women who are hurting and wanting inspiration and wanting to make a difference.
Amazing. I love
Amen.
it. See, women were empowered then. Somehow
Right.
we never lost sight of who we are, but society seemed to negate it.
Yeah.
And we're still here. We're from the Bible, and we're still here. Can't get rid of us. Stronger than ever.
I told you what that whole thing was about.
Which whole thing?
Everything. The reason women are depicted back then and coming forward. This is all about jealousy. I've
Yeah,
explained
you've
that.
always said that. I never understood that.
Well, who wrote the Bible? These chapters.
Mary.
Mary wrote the chapters?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't
women.
remember her writing it. I think it was men that wrote back in the day. And back in the day, men, like today, cannot give children. cannot have children, cannot birth children. And men have always been jealous of that fact.
Interesting.
Always been that way.
That's what he always
but
says.
It's true.
I don't know how they
Well,
could be
I
jealous.
can say that it's possible men wrote the Bible, but we're not always told. And how did these men know what was in Mary's heart that she shared? Because she shares her heart. She shares the moment with the angel. I don't think there was a man in the room.
But there
so
was-
I think it's her story,
Well,
no
there's
matter who wrote
missing-
it down. But we can't know who wrote down. Is it possible that Mary wrote her own story?
Well, there are
Is it
missing
possible?
there are missing books in the Bible, but what I'm saying is that it isn't so much what was written, it was what was meant to read. Like you have a definition of what you read, and it's inspired you. But men have always been jealous of the fact that there's one thing on this planet we cannot do, and that is give birth. And no matter what you can do, no matter how you cut the argument, men cannot do that. Now, men can be supportive, men can think it, men can, they put that fake belly on it, all that stuff. None of that amounts to creativity of what women go through. It's a very simple fact. And there's the before, the during, and the after. And if you look at it, if you really, really look at it, you'll see, women can be inspirational all the time. All the time. And I laugh because you tell me how women are strong and this. And women always been there. For every guy, there's always been a woman. Always. Men may not admit to that, but it's always been that way. Because men run around the house where women run the house. And that's been since the beginning of time. Because men are afraid of women.
I don't know about that. But
I'm telling you.
How do people get your book?
Denial, denial, denial.
Thank you. Amazon.com. Women in the Bible, small group Bible study. My name, Marina Hoffman. It's
There
everywhere.
it is. It's
all the bookstores.
Yep.
Thank you.
Inspired. How many women do you spotlight in the book?
There's 8 studies, but within that, it's about 10 women, but 8 stories.
Yeah.
Kind of like one a week, one a month.
Perfect time for Mary and then Esther, and
Yep.
she's a pretty amazing woman
Right on.
also.
Yes.
Well, Dawn, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Marina, pleasure to have you. I hope you'll share some more time with us in your friendship, because what an amazing lady to have studied what you study.
Thank you for having me.
Willow, have a Merry Christmas. All right, we're going to take a commercial break, more to come, and we'll be right back.
The National Pickleball Expo is back, the biggest pickleball event in the world. Get huge discounts on the latest equipment, apparel, footwear, holiday gifts, and more. Visit nationalpickleballexpo.com, December 9th and 10th at the Palm Beach Convention Center.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, your family, your business, your peace of mind, you need reliable fire protection. Introducing All Fire Extinguisher Depot, Fire Extinguisher Service. Our certified technicians ensure your extinguishers are always ready to respond to emergencies. Before and after, we leave your fire safety in top-notch condition. Join the many satisfied clients who trust All Fire Extinguisher Depot for fire extinguisher service. Because when it comes to fire safety, there's no compromise. Contact All Fire Extinguisher Depot at 786-704-2750 to get your extinguisher service today. Your safety is our priority. That's at 786-704-2750. All Fire Extinguisher Depot, protecting what matters.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call now.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing. What's up?
Nothing, just looking for music for Grandpa I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
Let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listen to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Broken Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out, thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought.
Today, we're going to talk about our Freedom Patch. This is the world's first and only drug-free, non-invasive, and non-electrical pain patch. To understand how the Freedom Patch works and delivers pain relief, we need to understand a little bit about the neuromatrix of pain and how it works. Every physical, emotional, and psychological function has a neural code that controls and regulates it. The various brain regions and signals that help manage pain are called the neuromatrix of pain. Sometimes these signals get stuck, damaged, or corrupted. This leads to poor pain management. Leading studies show that a well-functioning neuromatrix with synchronized signals can lead to reduced pain. So, how do we help the neuromatrix of pain work better? Easy. Just peel and apply the Freedom Patch to where we are feeling the pain. That could be our shoulder, neck, arm, leg, knee, back, or even hip. The Freedom Super Patch has this intricate and special pattern of ridges. It's like a QR code. We already know that our skin absorbs and transmits information from many different types of stimulation, including light, heat, and cold. With the Freedom Super Patch, the skin uses our sense of touch to absorb and transmit the information. When these ridges in the pattern come in contact with our skin, they stimulate skin sensors that generate and send a very complex signal to our brain that helps balance the neuromatrix of pain. A recent study shows the Freedom Patch helped significantly reduce pain for people within minutes. In fact, the study shows that the Freedom Patch helps with pain from arthritis, myofascial, musculoskeletal, and neuropathy. The Freedom Super Patch is a scientific breakthrough that is FDA registered and comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just imagine less pain without drugs or related risks. The Freedom Patch is an amazing solution for immediate drug-free pain relief.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
All right, so this one goes out to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. And if I was a sculptor, and again, no, or a man who makes potions on a traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of these verses, well, they've got me quite cross. But the sun's been quite kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for getting these things I do. You see, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Anyway, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen. You can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind that I'm put down in words how wonderful life is when you're in the world. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind that I'm put down in words how wonderful life is when you're in, and you're in the world. You're in the world, yeah.
Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chiming, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frost.
Again, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door.
I'm flabbergasted.
And we're
Holy
back.
Smoke.
Baxton, what are you making today for Creator's Kitchen? It's always on.
Well, you got to pick it up.
Making a crab salad.
With real crab?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are you going to make it with?
I got some Duke's mayonnaise. Got a bit of truffle hot sauce, a bit of lemon juice, lemon zest, a bit of capers. It'll be good.
You like crab salad? You think kids like crab salad?
We'll see.
And what are you drinking?
Grapefruit.
Now, you know, you can't leave those eggs out of the fridge.
They finished them?
No,
They're
this.
all stuck to the bottom of the pan.
Oh, that's the leftovers? Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're going to throw that out, right?
Oh my gosh, this is.
What are you trying to say?
That was Freddie with. Wow. That's for men that can't be pregnant? Interesting.
I don't see a
but
man
like the rest of
pregnant.
those eggs are gonna get thrown out, so we're good.
Good, because that could kill you.
Interesting is all I can tell you. Wow. All right.
Like pregnant man jump scare.
Jump scare.
So Dylan, have a seat over there. Tell us how you're enjoying being part of the studio.
Yeah, working here so far has been great. Like, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of interesting characters here.
You learning a lot?
Oh yeah, definitely, a lot more than I was.
Sitting home, right?
Yeah.
You're learning more than you did at school?
Honestly, yeah, like just kind of being here and doing stuff. Like I'm actually learning stuff instead of like writing in a book all day.
Very nice. And what are you hoping to do going forward?
You know, like, you know, the absolute, like, big bad dream is, like, oh, maybe one day edit for, like, movies and stuff. But, like, I just like editing in general. So if, like, anything I could pick up, I could take and do that. Like, I could get a career in that in some way.
And Baxter, what are you wanting to do?
I want to be a writer. I want to write movies.
And how are those scripts coming?
They're pretty interesting. You
They're
know,
all-
when people read my scripts, I honestly think they're sometimes disturbed. Because
Your scripts or the people?
my scripts.
That you're disturbed?
They think that they're disturbed. Because I have a very dark mindset when it comes to writing sometimes. And it's what people say because they said, like, I won't expect that from you. Because you're such a calm, well, not calm, but friendly guy.
Who says that?
Everybody who reads the scripts.
Oh.
But they say that everybody, the way I look at it, has a bit of darkness in them. And I put every ounce of it in what I write. And I think it's interesting. I think if these films are made one day, I think people will legitimately like them. I really do.
You think everyone has darkness in them?
Yeah. Like, everybody, like, some people are very good at hiding it. Like, nobody, I don't think, is inherently perfect.
Well, no one's
Everybody
perfect.
has a little something. Real mature, Josh. Real mature. Thank you.
You know, the bottom line isn't that people are dark. The bottom line here is the definition of what dark is. If you do something against the grain, it doesn't necessarily make you dark. It just makes you different.
Yeah. Like, it's the same thing with, like, anger. Everybody has some kind of anger seated in them sometimes. Or, like, for example, anger. The way I deal with my anger, I do my boxing. There's no other thing better.
You do your boxing?
Mm-hmm.
For
I
anger?
do my boxing training at the gym, and it's a phenomenal way to
What makes you angry?
When
everything
people try to hurt other people that I care about. That's the one thing in my life that really ticks me off to no end.
Because you have a big heart.
You know, it's funny. I was coaching a Sandlot team in New York one year, and I went to the depths of the Bronx, places that no person would go because it wasn't safe, South Bronx. And I signed some ball players, and I brought them up, and they used to come up to the North Bronx to play, which was a different experience to them because we used to play in these small little stadiums and what have you. But long story short of it, we joined the league in Connecticut, and we made it all the way to the championship team. So here you have, nobody spoke any English on this team, by the way. Nobody. And there was a lot of people, over 3,000 people, and it was hostile. It was very, very hostile. So I took the team into the outfield. We had a little meeting, and we talked about the environment because I wanted to get into their heads that it doesn't matter what you have around you. What matters is how you can focus and work your way through it. And it doesn't matter the things they say because you have your spirit and you believe in yourself. And if you believe in yourself, you can get through anything.
Amen.
And I'm listening to what he's saying, what the lady before was saying. And we went out and we won that game. And the parents came over afterwards, not the players, because the players already knew. They had gone through 25 games with me. They knew. But the parents came over, and they had never met me. I mean, these kids were older. They're 18, 17, 18, 19 years old. And they had never met me. And it changed their life about how they saw and perceived things, that they didn't think their kids had a chance because of the color of their skin or their language to play at a different level. And I'll never forget the conversation they had with me. And all I did was listen. And they were telling me how they learned the lesson and that they were grateful and on and on and on. So it's interesting. So sometimes if you see something that's different, it doesn't make it bad.
No.
It just makes it different.
It's unique, you know.
And then you can think it is unique, yes.
Our world is, yes, thank you, Josh.
But you have to be able to express it. You know, one thing is to see a dream, and another thing is to do the dream.
Yeah. And it's like, that's why I'm looking into California. Because, like, doesn't mean I'm gonna stay there for the rest of my life? Probably not. But I do think spending a year in California, you know, meeting people, meeting actors, directors, producers, networking, I think it'll be very beneficial in the long run. I really do. Because, like, I know that Atlanta's getting big, but, like, Atlanta will never be California as much as it tries to be sometimes. Atlanta is Atlanta and California is California. Anybody who is everybody who wants to be in the movie industry, California is like heaven.
If you have the desire, you can make anything go, whether it's
Amen to that.
Atlanta or California. You know, you
And
gotta.
like the way I look at it is, just because something can't happen right now, it doesn't mean it won't happen. Like, I have conversations with people all the time. It's like, well, they want a certain thing to happen, but it's not happening. It's like, there are certain things that take an obscene amount of time and an obscene amount of patience. And it can be gut-wrenching. But once you get through something like that and you finally get to where you want to be, there's nothing else like it.
You know, the media career, this career of showbiz, none of that happens overnight. None of it.
No.
It takes time. It takes endurance, and it takes supporting yourself to be able to get there. You know, a lot of people don't get there. How many singers right now do we know? They struggle every day of their life to try to sustain the bills where they live their dreams. Minor league ball players go through that every day. Some of them are in there for 10 years. Can you imagine having a family, bills, and everything else? And then you go at night to play baseball, and then during the day you have a 9-to-5 job. That's the hardest thing in the world to do, because you can't focus on your baseball career. You got to have that God-given ability. So whenever you're going to go, if you're going to go to California, if you're going to go to Atlanta, you got to understand failure is success that leads you to the top.
Failure is one of the best teachers.
Oh, I don't know if it's the best teacher, but it's hell going to teach you.
It's one of them.
What's going to teach you?
Failure
patience?
is something that's really going to show you who you really are and how strong you are. Oh. When you're at the end of your rope, and you know, when you're at the end of our time here, sometimes it's not gonna be the good times that stick with us sometimes. Yes, we may remember the good times, but the times that really, this is just me, the times that really mold us as a person, help us flourish and grow, are the bad situations we're put into.
Sometimes I don't know if it's failure, but frustration.
Yeah, you know, failure, frustration, we need those things. We need to make mistakes in life, because if we do not make mistakes in life, how would we learn? We need to learn from the mistakes that we make and find a way to find a brighter part of it.
No, I'll stick with making adjustments, because I'm not going to mope if something doesn't work out, something doesn't fail. You know, it's really easy to say that you're going to learn from a failure, but do you? Or do you withdraw? Do you reclude? Do you all of a sudden the failure becomes bigger than you? And those are the things you have to work on. You have to be able to talk to yourself and clear the path to yourself. Before you take anything on, you better understand yourself, how much pressure you can take. What is pressure? Can you live through it? And then you have to be able to live it, express it, and then make other people better around you.
Yeah.
Who can do that? I mean, there's a whole lot of want in that situation. So.
And the way I also look at things is, sometimes, and especially for me, this is hard to do. This is extremely hard to do, and you know this, we've talked about this before, is I'm not going to say it's a bad habit, but it's not, is I tend to look out for others before I look out for myself. And
that's not a bad habit, that's just your DNA. Mm-hmm. But you have to learn how to deal with it.
Yeah, like it's just, and like that's also something that you need to kind of learn how to do in life, because if you don't learn how to look out for yourself and put yourself number one, people will see that as weakness and they'll walk all over you. They will, you will never really
Stay true to you.
What you need to do. Like sometimes what you really need to do is to just find that person that who you really are and be happy with that person.
Teaching people to respect who you are is an act in itself. And sometimes people don't know boundaries. They don't know how hard you work at some of the things that you do. They don't respect your time. They don't respect you as a person. But that is not who makes you up.
No.
That's not who you are. And it really, sometimes, I used to tell people, Braxton, all the time, what you think of me is none of my business, because it makes no difference. You do what you got to do, you say what you got to say, and then there's the door, there's the road, whatever, good, bad, or indifferent. Makes no difference. Because you have to stand for who you stand for yourself before you can help anybody else. You got to help yourself first.
True that.
True.
All right, you ready to wrap this up?
I am.
Things to do. Well, thanks for sharing, Baxton.
Of course.
Especially during the holiday season. Dylan, welcome. More to come. Check out our TikTok. You're going to see some of our elves getting to have some fun and dance around the studio.
They're very strange. You got to see this. They're very strange people.
They tell us that people want to see behind the scenes of the feel of the studio.
I don't know about all that, but check it out.
More to come. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe. Be kind to each other. Tune into Sarah Spiritual tonight at 6:30. You can always call into the show, or we will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.